Okay, so I was just going to show some rocks here. Alright, so what we got is we've got a bunch of course, these are the two I found this year. Uncut Ellensburg blues. And then we've got a couple of other pieces. It's got some bitoidal. It's kind of an oddity. It had been tumbled. That's how I got it. Same way with this piece. It's definitely it's a blue. It's a light blue. Anyway, got another piece. It's almost white, but there is some blue tint to this. Again, another tumbled piece. Thompson formation. It's a decent. Somebody had drilled a hole through it. Okay, going with like a blue skin, gray agate in the middle, and then a bunch of crystalline content. Or basically like probably druzy before they tumbled it. Got rid of the matrix on the outside. Another tumbled stone before I got a hold of it. Got kind of some dark gray in it, but then you've got some nice blue. It's light blue. You've got a little bit of it, so it wasn't tumbled too long. Still, tumbling rocks is not what I think is a good idea when it comes to blue. Anyway, another tumbled rock. I mean, they rounded off the material. It sucks. Like when you're gonna cut, I mean, you plan your cut. Here's a nice piece. Nice blue. Nice tumbled piece. Still got some of this. Okay, hold on. I better get that back in there. So it's some nice rust in it. Okay, tumbled. Those that just come in here fresh, untumbled, don't tumble them, leave them alone, or cut them. Anyway, so what I did was I took a piece. This is like a nice, like light blue. You've got your layers. It's got like, of course, the crystal quartz top layer, or it's probably a lot more like probably druzy. Then you had the like blue layers and the different layers in it. Okay, so I just cleared off the bottom. I just followed the stone, got rid of the outside of it. I just kind of freeform cabbed it. It's kind of hard to get. I got that up to 50,000 grit. It's kind of hard to make it clear because you've really got this weird crystal that you're carving. I mean, I'm sure the camera doesn't catch it, but it's really neat how you can look in and see this like pattern. I don't think the camera catches it. It almost catches some of the edges, but if you can see what I see, it's really in a nice piece. So what I was going to do is take this rock, and then I've got a piece of wax. I bought this rock from a guy named Beeman. He used to sell in Ellensburg blue. He had like a little case. He no longer is around anymore. He went on to the next life. But he used to have really nice blues. Anyways, these are the two things I'm going to make a ring out of. This is not a blue. Probably doesn't deserve a whole video, so I got this from Kingman Mine on a motorcycle ride. I carved that myself. It's an 1825. It's got a nice red in it. It's a turquoise. So here we go. We've got an aquamarine chunk. I was going to show some other. These chunks right here are That's a really good. These are tumbled Namibia blues. I'm just showing you right next to the Ellensburg blue. They are not Ellensburg blue. These are Namibia. These aren't very good ones. These are like cutoffs and specimens. I've seen Namibia blue look like, you know, you got an old piece. I had an old piece at one time and it looked like sky. It's still a lot more like a chalcedony, but it's really not like Ellensburg blue. I showed these two. I got these two rocks too. These are some sort of a tumbled, I don't know what they're like, angel feather or some sort of weird rock that I got. Not exactly sure. Somewhere in Dakota at a rock shop. Then here's just a piece of chalcedony. It's a chunk. I drilled a hole in it. I was going to make a necklace out of it, just like that. It's definitely got some druzy on it, and just a piece of chalcedony. It's a lot more like a specimen. I mean, I guess I could probably cut some stones. It's just really thin, but it just looked really cool to me. Just almost kind of like an arrowhead shape. So I cut a hole. I was gonna, you know, wrap a little bit of a rope or maybe some copper wire around it and just wear it. Anyway, I wanted to put those right there so people could see there's clearly a difference. Like, I mean, you know, Ellensburg blue is a lot different. And of course you want the clear blues. Those ones, you know, like the facet grade is probably worth the money. And then, you know, some people really like these. I mean, this blue is a really nice blue. I'm glad I found that one. That's probably one of the best rocks I've ever pulled out by myself, or at least the second best rock. I had one rock that I pulled out that was obviously half this size, but its blue was, and it was had quartz content, so it was definitely not a clear rock, but it had a really neon looking blue color, and I should have never traded that off. Anyway, so those are kind of like my blue rocks. Of course I have other stuff like crystals and stuff like that I can move to at some point, but kind of my thing on the Ellensburg blue rocks. I mean, what you're looking for is dirt, obviously that color. You're looking for rock beds. Stay away from sagebrush because they got lots of ticks on them. And you look for mounds. A lot of like little critters will dig holes and they kick up dirt, and there'll be these little dirt piles. You kind of sift through there, maybe pull the rocks out of there, shove them in your pocket, and clean them up when you get home. Unless you bring a spray bottle, and you can do it right there. I don't like wasting my time like cleaning them there. I'd rather just fill up my pockets and then, you know, just take what I get at home. But to each his own. I have cut a lot of stones. Anyway, so I mean, stay away from the grassy areas. You're looking for especially sides of hills where you see a lot of dirt, where there is a lot of rocks, and there's not a lot of grass, because the grass is going to stop the erosion. You're looking for erosion when you're hiking them. I mean, obviously there's people that dig them, and we know the glacier brought them down. So I mean, you can go up to the mountains, the Cascade Mountain Range, and look for different areas to find yourself blues. I don't think you're limited to just Ellensburg, but there seems to be a pretty good quality coming out of the fields. You know, I mean, a lot of this stuff's going to look like that, but you know, you can eventually find these clear stones. I mean, once you faceted them up there, I've seen some facet quality blues that are just like unreal. You know, they're clear, they're eye clean, and when you hold light to them, you see a pink. You see a pink color when sunlight hits them, and there ain't nothing like that when you're going to look at these other rocks. You don't see any pink in them. So That's another way to tell. Just kind of show people like these are not blues, even though they look blue. You know, and you've got different kind of hardnesses here. Definitely some chalcedonies. You know, aquamarine. I don't know what these rocks were called, like angel rocks. I don't know. I just got them because they look pretty cool looking. They do allow light to transfer. This is definitely just a specimen. It's not really a blue. It's kind of like got a blue skin. You'll see that a lot. Still, to have a rock come out that's like an agate that big is neat. Alright, thanks.